describe what the JCCC does in 3 words, that's a good question, because I would say that there's a 3-word phrase that's actually the motto of the JCCC, and has been for 55 years, that I think embodies everything we do here. And those words are friendship through culture. So that's the motto of the Cultural Center. And the idea behind that is to create friendships between Japanese Canadians and the broader Canadian community, as well as just friendships between everyone using Japanese culture as a catalyst. And the idea of that is really linked, I think, to the basic idea of what the Cultural Center is here to do. As you know from the history of the Japanese Canadian community, with the outbreak of the Second World War, the loyal Japanese Canadian community, most of whom were born in Canada, were treated as enemy aliens, were put into internment camps. They lost all of their possessions and their businesses, which was never returned to them. And I think after the internment, after the war, when they were forced to resettle east of the Rockies, there was a feeling in the community that part of the reason why they were persecuted and treated so terribly was ignorance. People didn't know who the Japanese Canadians were. They didn't know Japanese culture. And when there's ignorance, that breeds fear. And that fear was probably at the heart of the very harsh treatment that Canadians of Japanese descent suffered. And so the idea was to not, when the JCC was built, not to create an, exclusive Japanese-only community center, but rather to create a space where Japanese-Canadian history and Japanese culture was shared with all Canadians. So the idea was, through what we do here at the JCCC, that fear and that ignorance will disappear, and the Japanese Canadians will never need to worry about being persecuted like that again. So that's, the Cultural Center's been doing it for 56 years, and I think pretty successful. So if I was to recommend 3 titles, it's hard because, you tend to be in love with all of the movies in the festival. But I don't know, from the audience perspective, I think our world premiere, Dance With Me, is great because Shinobu Yaguchi's films are always so fun. We've screened all of his films. Every film that he's put out since we started the festival, we always have as part of our lineup. So it's a really fun film, and then to have Mr. Yaguchi coming to the festival, and to have Ayaka Miyoshi, the rising star in Japan, who's the lead actress in this film here, is great. So it's a great combination, the world premiere of a really fun film with the people who made it in attendance. So that's definitely a highlight. Also, there's a film called Love's Twisting Path, again, which we have a great guest, Mikako Tabe, who's had a number of films in the festival so far, big star in Japan, obviously. And it's good because she's such a charming presence, but also the film is it's really exciting. It's kind of an old school Chambara samurai film, and it's made by kind of a master samurai director who really sort of took a 20-year hiatus, and this is his big comeback, and he's coming back with a top Japanese cast. And the film is very exciting and a lot of fun. Finally, we have another film that is it's the North American premiere, but actually we'll be screening it before it opens in Japan. And the movie's called The Fable, and it has an all-star cast led by Junichi Okada, and it's a Yakuza action comedy. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty violent, but there's a lot of laughs, and again, it's just, I don't know, I think anybody can appreciate it. Whether you're Canadian or Japanese or whatever your background, it's just a fun film. So I think it'll be a big hit. great year. And every year we have stars and directors come and visit us. And I think we've built a pretty good reputation for taking good care of visitors, being attentive and showing them a good time, and also providing them with a really good and enthusiastic audience for the films. So Mr. Yaguchi's films, every film that he's put out since we started the festival, we've screened here. And we've always let our friends in the Japanese film industry know that A, we'd love to have Yaguchi-san come, and B, we're always open to a world premiere. So I think just things fell together happily this year. So we're not only getting his new film, but we're getting the man, we're getting the actress, and we're getting the film before anybody else in the world gets to see it. So we're really happy. We have, the cultural center's going all the time. We have on July the 13th, we have our big Natsumatsuri Summer Festival here at the Cultural Center. So lots of dancing and music and food and everything you could possibly want from a traditional Japanese festival. We have in August a big concert with the band Agashio, which brings together Western influences, jazz piano, with Tsugaru Jamisen, so traditional Japanese three-string instrument. So we've got quite an exciting music concert coming up. And then again, throughout the year, we have our Winter Family Festival, we've got our New Year's events, and in 2020, of course, we have the Tokyo Olympics, so we're ramping up to do a lot of events that will be specific to the Tokyo Olympics as well. So we hope that the JCCC will be, well, if you can't go to Tokyo, this will be the closest you can come to experiencing, having the Tokyo 2020 experience here in Canada. So we kind of think of it as Tokyo without the jet lag. So we hope everyone will come and enjoy the Olympics in some way here next year.